Welcome to That's What She Said, where we'll spill the tea on women empowerment in the Great Lakes Bay region with your host, Christiana Malacara.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to That's What She Said with me, Christiana Malacara. Thank you so much for tuning in each and every week to That's What She Said. If you ever wonder, hey, what did she talk about last week? What did she talk about last month? What did that first episode what did that first episode look like? You can always go back and check those out on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Audible. One of my favorite ways to tune in is just that very authentic version on the radio waves of WSGW 100.5 and 790. Those episodes air weekly on Saturday morning at 8 a.m. and then Sunday evening at 6 p.m., which is a fantastic way to just reset your week, to remotivate yourself, and just say, all right, we can do this. We drop an episode every single Thursday of That's What She Said. On That's What She Said Day, yes, Thursday at 1:30, you can find us on social media, and we will be there, and all the other places on the internet too. Just Google, right? I want to say thank you for tuning in. This is not possible without you, without, how do they say, viewers like you. But really, it's your contributions is saying, hey, I have this really cool girl in my life, or this person inspired me, or I feel like maybe I fit into these conversations. The inspiration of that invisible ripple effect has gone on and on and on. And we are well over 100 conversations with women of the Great Lakes Bay region, which is an absolute honor to facilitate for all of you in the region, in Michigan and beyond. Let's talk a little bit about chapters before we move into the conversation. It's very inspiring when you get someone who's in a chapter of your life who's pushing you out, and saying, hey, you're destined for more, right? It's so inspiring to have that person in our life. And there's some of us out there who are that person for ourselves. There's this bigger picture out there. Maybe this chapter needs to close and another one needs to open. And what a scary thought that might be. That truly is, right? We've talked about it before, that unknown. So as we're moving through from this That's What She Said day to the next, let's think about that. Who is it that's in our life that is pushing us into the next chapter? Are we pushing ourselves into the next chapter? Or who in our life can we encourage to move forward to that next chapter? Because it's a big deal. So I have a really cool person across from me, and I am dying to get her on. She's a dear friend. We have Carmen Castillo with us. Hi, Carmen.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Pretty good.
Good. I was so excited when I thought, yeah, Carmen needs to be on. She's one of those, how do they say, the unsung heroes behind the scenes. But I'm going to let you introduce yourself and how the community might know you.
Okay. My name is Carmen Castillo, business owner of Therapeutic Hope. We just celebrated 8 years in business in May. So it was big, exciting. Time's flying. Also, I serve on the Downtown Saginaw Association. I am the secretary. Actually, I moved over to treasurer.
Very cool.
I also volunteer with all kinds of organizations, LEAD being one of them. I help out at the Friday Night Lives a lot. When Anne-Marie needs me, I will be there. Anybody needs me, I will be there behind the scenes. I don't want to be up in front.
And that is exactly why I said you're that unsung hero. There's so many things that once you get to know Carmen, it's like, wait, you did that too? And she's like, but that's okay. That's okay. So you are a business owner.
Correct.
8 years. So that means through the COVID, right?
Through COVID.
So 8 years of anything is a while. 8 years of being a small business owner is an accomplishment. What is your business?
I am a licensed massage therapist, and I have 2 other licensed massage therapists on my team now. I do have an esthetician that does waxing as well. But the goal and our purpose is to serve all ages of the public. Our pricing is set low enough that it's affordable. We want everybody to know that massage isn't just a luxury. I repeat this over and over again. It is not just a luxury. It is for people who are in pain, who are needing some stress relief. We focus on the therapeutic, that's why it's in our name, therapeutic aspect of massage. There's so much that we can help with, and so many ailments that we can help with, that is our goal, to change lives in that way.
What's the name of your business?
Therapeutic hope.
You said it's in the name, Therapeutic
Yes.
Hope. So this element of assisting, it sounds like it's pretty well in tuned with you.
Mm.
Where do you think that started?
Well, actually, the name came from therapeutic was just what I wanted to focus on. When I went to school, it was like, do you want to do spa or therapeutic? And I'm like, okay, I've done a lot of different jobs. I've been working since I was about 14, in any field you can think of. And I wanted to help people. I knew I wanted to do that. So it was soul searching for me. I was hopping around jobs a year, 3 years, trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And I know that I couldn't do medical because I can't handle, like, I get too emotionally attached to people. So I'm like, okay, I can't do that. Then I tried working with juveniles at one point, and in that system. And then I wanted to like help all the kids and take them all home. And the kids were like, you have enough kids. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. And then the hope aspect came once I jumped into the field of massage therapy. I was working for a chiropractor at the time, and a client came in. He didn't get an adjustment that day. He had cancer, and he had asked me if I could help him. So I massaged him, and then when we left that session, he came out and he was like, "You changed my life, and you've given me hope." So then that like kind of just pushed me along to make the big leap of faith and open up my own business, and that resonated with me deeply. Like, wow, I really helped him. He has cancer and it's not curable, and he's just trying to find some kind of relief in his day. So
you were able to provide him with that.
yes.
Wow.
So, and I still see him to this day. He's still
around
pushing, fighting,
and
and yeah, he's still fighting that fight. Yes.
You said you worked in a juvenile detention center?
Yes, I work for Wolverine.
That's kind of a little further down the spectrum of therapy and hope and care. And how did that happen and then migrate to where you're at?
So originally I applied to work there because we were having a lot of people from South America come up, and they were looking for people to work with the placement and be able to speak with them. I speak enough and understand enough to kind of work with that kind of, with those kind of people that don't have a way to be heard. So I just felt like it was another calling to help people, but that didn't end up happening. And so the supervisor came to me and said, well, it's not going to happen, but would you like to stay on and work with our kids? And I'm like, well, yeah, I love kids. I have 5 of my own. Let's go. But not knowing that I was working with specific youth that were struggling with alcohol and drug addiction. So I was part of a program that when they first came off of the street, and were first sentenced, they would have to come be with me in a room all day and learn the rules and how to follow them and let go of, their become humble, I guess I should say, and realize that we're not here to, judge you or keep you here forever. We are just trying to help you, set you on a different path to move forward.
That sounds almost therapeutic as well, that guidance portion of it. Let's go back even a little further. Some people are just ingrained with that maternal instinct to care, right? Some more than others. Where do you think this Where do you think this began? The seed of I'm going to help others and I'm going to help them make a better version of themselves. Because you know what I'm translating is that's what's happening in your timeline here. Where do you think that began?
With my grandparents. I mean, my parents both work full time. They were there, but that generation were heavy workers, so off to grandparents' house on my mom's side. So they were both stay at home. My grandfather was a quadriplegic by then. My grandma was taking care of everybody. She was the matriarch of the family. Um, and I just watched her take care of everybody, no questions asked. Neighbors, anybody could come over if they wanted something to eat. Like she's always trying to feed everybody. That's
That's
what
how it
grandmas
goes.
do. Yeah.
Yep.
Feed you and then send you home with a plate. So I watched her do that, and then I listened to lots of stories about my grandfather, and he was a natural healer when he was able to before he had Guillain-Barré syndrome. So he never recovered from that. But before that, he was a curandero, which is a natural healer, and he used to go to church and he would bring the people home and he would massage them, crack their backs, pray over them, pray healing into them. And I was always told I had his touch. And so that was always in the back of my mind, but I didn't know how to get there. So I just wanted to help like they did.
So this generational of handing over of a natural healer,
Mm-hmm.
that sounds really special.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds really special. So you're navigating through life and you're picking careers along the way.
Right.
And it started way back when.
Oh, yeah.
When you're going to grandma and grandma's house.
For sure.
Wow. Okay. So, what are some of those qualities other than like the gift of, natural healing? What were some of those other qualities that really pushed you into that leap of, I'm going to open this business?
The other qualities I would say is that my family, everybody on both sides, both my parents, they come from 7 on each side. So I have lots of aunts and uncles and both sides. My grandparents were very involved, but I watched how everybody was like a go-getter. Like that was instilled in everybody. You got to be a hustler. Like if you want something, you have to go for it. And si Dios quiere, that was my grandma's, if God wants it, that, God willing, that's going to happen. And so essentially, when I made the leap of faith, I was actually working for General Motors. I was 3rd generation in there. And I just told my dad, like, I have 5 kids. I want to be home with them. I don't want to miss anything. I was serving on their school board, and I'm like, I have to make more time. I can't. My job is mom first. And that's what I felt like. So I called my dad up because you still have to ask permission even as an adult.
Of course.
And I'm like, Dad, can I quit? And he's like, I think you're crazy, but go for it. So I quit GM, started school, went through school, went to work for a chiropractor, but whole time in the back of my head was like, okay, what can I do to be able to make my own schedule so I can be with my kids and work around their schedule? That was like my big goal, was to work around my children's schedule and not have to worry about paying the bills. So I was hustling on the weekends, and my clientele built so fast and so big that it was just, okay, well, this is what God wants. You always try to make a plan, but what God wants, I feel like is going to happen. So he's just laughing at me the whole time, like, you're going to grow anyway.
So there's this comment you said, and I feel like a lot of listeners in general, but women are like, I have to make more time, right? We only get 24 hours in a day, but like,
Right.
Can we stretch it to 30? Like this whole thing of you're prioritizing.
Mm-hmm.
So other than prioritizing what's important to, air quotes for those that are listening, make more time, what are some things that women can do to shift their lifestyle to make more time,
Mhm.
what would you suggest?
I think the hardest part is being able to accept help and realize that you're a part of a bigger community and everybody around you wants the same thing you want. So I feel like if you're helping other people, they're going to want to return that help some way. And I can say that not only just blood family, becomes your family. So you got to be able to let go a little and let the help come when you need it. And then you'll be able to succeed a little bit better.
Wow. That's that's let go. As a mom, it's hard to let go. It's hard to let go of their hand when they're little and they want to go across the monkey bars
Right.
to, graduation day. You're letting go of your baby essentially, but like letting go of tasks that you delegate to yourself.
Right.
Why does that seem harder? Like, I mean, those of you listening on social media, answer in the comments. Like, why is it so hard that you task yourself with these jobs, but then it's like, why do I want to let that go?
Right.
Right. So you called Dad and was like, Dad, you worked at GM, generation back worked at GM. I'm here. This is not my cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
He says, okay, Mia. Okay.
Right.
Fine.
Mm-hmm.
That next step, was that something that felt natural or is it something that felt more difficult? Early on, what was that? Can you unpack that for us?
I feel like that saying that if you're not feeling nervous about what you're doing, then something's not right. So I can say it was like minute by minute. Am I doing right? Okay, I'm doing right. Is this gonna happen? Yes, it's gonna happen. Like I felt like I was making myself crazy, but in the end, I just took a step back and again, I have a strong faith. I was born and raised that way. And so I'm like, if it doesn't happen, it's not the end of the world. I just got to shift those ideas to something new. And I can say that I've been blessed my whole life that when I felt like maybe I'm not doing the right thing, something always came up to where it guided me to either the next thing or here I am 8 years later doing the same thing.
Yeah. So when you were going to school and you're like, okay, now it's time to graduate and start my own business. Did you have a village around you? Because you said you had to build your clientele. And
Yes.
I don't know how this operates. And I'm sure half of our community listening, do not have that entrepreneurial set mind of, okay, the people will come. Cross your fingers, hopefully. What was that in the terms of taking that bet on yourself?
So like I said, I had a huge community around me. I can say that most of my clientele came from the place that I worked out at. I worked out at BBR, Bodies by Laurent, and he just gave me a shout out one day and said, she needs her hours for school, go check her out. She's at Dorsey, go get her hours. I had my hours all but 10 because you need 40 to graduate. I had all but 10 on the time I made it to clinic. So
quickly.
Yeah, real quickly. And then all of those people followed me, like the ones that came in and supported me. To this day, I still keep in contact with everybody. They've all become my family, either working out. I haven't been there in a little while. I need to get back in there, but
in the gym.
Yeah. But I can say Laurent, like he just helped me out so much and I'll never be able to thank him enough for what he did, just by a shout out.
A fellow business owner now.
Correct. And he has lots of businesses.
So it's, that aspect of like learning from someone who's already gone down that path before. And, you did essentially with working at General Motors, learning that path and it circled all the way back, which is fascinating to me, to your grandfather's, what he had built as being a natural healer. So this feeling of helping others, it takes a lot out of us to help others. But what does that mean for you?
If I can go home at the end of the day and felt like I helped one person, I feel this emotion of peace. Like I'm just at peace and my body is calm and my environment is calm and I feel like I'm right where I need to be. And with massage therapy, I feel that every day. When I go to my place of business, it's like my second home and I'm lucky enough to go to work and not feel like I'm at work. And I feel like that's everybody's goal. So I hope that, everybody can find that feeling one day.
Of a calmness, of at peace at work.
Mhm.
Woo, that is a piping hot tea being spilled, because that's not always the case.
Mhm.
But this sense of peace that can come externally or internally, right?
Mhm.
So when we're talking about peace, what is like one tip that you could throw out for someone who's looking for peace?
I would say listen to your body, listen to everything that you say, when you're intentional about something, pay attention to yourself as well because you're speaking with intention, but sometimes we don't listen to what we're speaking.
That's true.
So listen to yourself, listen to, everything that you want to do and go for it.
I really like that piece of advice. Just tune into yourself.
Yes.
We have Carmen Castillo with us, and she is the owner of Therapeutic Hope in Saginaw, Michigan. We are excited to have you here, and we're excited to continue the rest of the conversation of That's What She Said with Carmen Castillo. So don't go too far. Come on back to That's What She Said with Christiana Malacara.
That's What She Said with Christiana Malacara is back. Now let's spill the tea.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the second half of That's What She Said with Carmen Castillo. She was just reviewing with us in the first half about kind of choosing that journey, and then kind of how I started the episode out was having someone in your life who just pushes you to that next chapter and encourages you. And in this case, it was partially yourself, partially your dad, your grandfather, some family members that were just, well, go do the thing and try it and work out. But we ended that last episode by saying to tune into yourself when you're making decisions. When was a time that you really had to check in with yourself and say, you know, this is the right thing to do outside of this career move?
I think when I was working for somebody else and I was just not happy and I felt like I was going to work and I was working and it was taken away from what I wanted to do with my life with massage therapy. Like I was going to work and I'm like, this is feeling like work and this is my passion. So something's not right. Let me take a step back. What do I need to do next? And
How did that reflect in your home life?
my kids are amazing, and so they've always been supportive, and I can say, like, my oldest, you got your little broke bestie. She is my bestie. Not taking
Broke
away not
bestie.
taking from the other 4, but
Yeah.
yeah, she's been, I had her when I was 19. She's been following me on this life journey, and I just want all my kids, especially her, to see, like, make a
Mhm.
goal and do it,
Mhm.
and it's gonna work through, it's gonna work out the way it's supposed to work out. It may not be what you intentionally thought was gonna happen, but it's gonna happen. So, I think that kind of pushed me to keep going because my kids are watching me, like, that pressure of being a mom and, like, I can't fail because, what are they gonna think? They're the only ones I care about their opinion, the most, like, "Oh, don't say I'm a bad mom." Except for when you're mad, then my parents say you're doing something right.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's interesting. You said you care about their opinion, but it kind of sounds like not too much anybody else's.
Yeah, for sure.
Was there a time where you cared about everyone's opinion when it came to decision making?
I think when I made that leap of faith from from working for somebody to working for myself, it was, like I said, a everyday struggle. And my family's like, well, do you have to make life hard? Or, is it going to be harder for yourself? Is it going to be harder for the kids? Like, it's going to take a lot to get there. And so it had me second guessing myself. And I know they didn't do it to scare me, but like be aware of what could happen. And I'm a what if person already. So then I'm like, what if?
Yeah.
But my grandma, like I was going back and forth to her house every day, and she kept telling me, if God wants it, just keep that in your mind. If God wants it, it's going to happen. So I just had to keep pushing through all those negative thoughts that come into mind and push forward.
Two points here that what if, and that's what she said. I use what if most of the time of, well, what if this actually works out? What if this actually goes well? What if I actually become a millionaire? What if is the, could be the positive aspect, but you're also saying it in that negative way too. Like, what if this doesn't work? What if I am broke at the end of the day? That's big. That's big. Those two little words can really change your mindset, and then your mindset will change that trajectory essentially. So the shift of, well, what if this actually works out? Was there a time that it didn't work out?
I can say in the beginning it was a little rocky because, like, you open a business and you're expecting this flood of people to come in, and it doesn't happen exactly that way. I had enough of a clientele to pay my bills. So I'm like, okay, we got to the first goal. But other than that, I couldn't do anything. And then I'm like, okay, is this happening how it's supposed to? Like, I thought we were supposed to make some money here so I can have fun with my kids, but I don't feel like there was ever a time that I can look back in my life that I failed so much at something that it took me to a dark space. I think, and I can say back to my faith, when something's not happening the way I wanted, I just hone in harder on my faith. Like, okay, it's coming. Whatever is supposed to is coming. Let me let go of that and move on.
It sounds like faith is a big part of your life.
Oh yeah.
Can you take us down that journey of faith essentially?
Yeah, I mean, all my family, we go to church every Sunday. We sit with each other, maybe a Saturday here or there, but my grandma did the rosary like twice a day, all day. And, she taught me everything she knew. If you had a problem, speak to God. She knew that we couldn't hold all the answers. So talk to the person who has them. And, all my family is that way. You will see all of them in church. You will see all of them at home or out in the public talking about their faith, or, something's not going right, rely on that faith. And so, and I hope my kids are doing the same. My son, he graduated and he moved out, and he called me. He was like, "Oh, I went to church." And I'm like, "You went to church with, I didn't have to force you to go." What?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to tell him because, you can't tell your kids when they're doing awesome things, because then they're like, oh, then I'm not going to do that anymore. But like my mom heart was exploding. Like, if you could picture that, like flowers and everything coming out, it was just like, okay, well, I did something right. If my kids are seeking out church and God and praying for what they want or need, and knowing that they can always rely on that when they feel that they can't reach out to me or somebody else.
You said you had your oldest at 19.
Yes.
That can be challenging.
Yes. It was challenging, but like I said, I have so much family and so much help that I probably didn't face as many challenges that others might have faced, because everyone was willing to help me when I needed it. It was sometimes hard to give up that, um, I don't power of being that parent. Like, oh, I'm the mom. Like, I know what's best, but you're a first time mom and you're not even an adult yet, like technically you are, but you're really not.
Mhm.
So it's like, mom,
Yeah.
Thea.
What do we do here?
Yeah, like, oh,
There's
what?
there's no playbook in practice. And I'm comparing this to, learning how to massage in a therapeutic way, right?
Mhm.
You're telling me you go through classes, you have to clock in so many hours, and
Yes.
we're doing like some type of clinical training on top of it. So there's a protocol to it.
Oh, for sure.
But to be a parent, there's some rough guidelines,
Right.
a whole lot of opinions.
Mhm.
And here we are, in your oldest is, and you're saying you have some graduates and you have a successful business, but like comparing the two, which have you seen that some of these qualities or lessons learned kind of cross over to help you succeed?
Um, I guess, like I said prior, like giving up, um, the fact that you can't control everything. I think that quality, when you're willing to realize that life isn't something that you can control like all the time, like that's not going to happen. As far as kids, like you can raise them how you think that they're going to become, or to be who you want them to become, but at the end of the day they're going to hopefully take something away from what they learned, but they're going to make their own choices and become their own people. And in massage, it's the same, where you may think that the massage might go one way, um, and the intention is there,
Mhm.
and sometimes the outcome isn't exactly what either one of you expected, but hopefully it ends in a positive way either way.
Wow. Wow. So that idea of guiding someone and just hoping that
Right.
that they take the best parts of the situation,
Correct.
the
Yeah.
best parts of that experience, and then flourish. So I mentioned it early on here in the episode of That's What She Said. We use this term of the invisible ripple effect. So it's like you start something, but you not necessarily see that end or even where it goes next. I imagine that happens quite often when you have a one-timer client or maybe a two-timer client, and you don't really see that ripple effect all the way out in this such physical act of healing, this natural physical act of healing. How is it that you are able to keep and maintain your positivity and your healing mind to essentially have that ripple effect on them? What are you doing for yourself?
So when I go into my massages, when I meet somebody new, they don't know it, but they've just become my family member. They're a therapeutic family member, whether they stay with me or not. And if you talk to some of my clients that I haven't seen, past one visit, I will still reach out to some of my clients. Like, are you okay? You don't have to come back and get a massage, but some of them open up and pour out onto your table, like as you're going through it. So they're not only having a physical release, they're having an emotional release. And so sometimes you just learn things about people, and you just hope that, you can see the positivity in that relationship that's flourished.
That seems like you hear it with like the hairstylist or the barber, like they know all the secrets.
For sure. Nothing leaves my four walls. And I tell people that all the time. Like,
I usually fall asleep, so you don't know any of my secrets.
right.
But I imagine that that's a lot to take on.
Yeah. I mean, I get massages as well. My other massage therapists, they're great. I wouldn't have people that don't massage similar to me. We'll never massage the same, and not every massage is ever going to be the same. However, I have to take care of my own body so I can extend the life of what I'm doing as well. And also like yoga, I like to go on bike rides. I do that counter cruise on Monday nights.
Yeah.
Just
So staying active.
yeah, just staying active and still pouring out in other ways. I love my community in helping.
Did you always kind of pour into yourself, or was there ever a time where you just did and did and did and never kind of rejuvenated yourself?
I think when I became a mom, it was like I can't pour into myself now. I'm pouring into everybody, my kids, I have to pour everything I have into them, and whatever else I have left over has to go to everybody else in my family and friends and everything like that. And it took a really long time to realize, like, when you do stuff like that, you seclude yourself. You give so much that you have nothing, and you're just sitting there.
Who do you seclude yourself from? What do you mean?
I mean, you're out in there in the world, you're given everything, emotionally and physically sometimes, and you're left with nothing at the end of the day. You come home and you're wiped out, and all you want to do is sleep, maybe eat a little bit, and then look forward to the next day to do it all over again. And after so long, you kind of lose what enjoyment, like, what do I want to do with my life? What do I want to, how can I have fun? What is fun?
A shift in identity.
Yes.
And there's so many women that go through that, not just through parenting, but like career changes, dynamics shift with your partner or a friend. So it sounds like there was like, okay, now what?
Right.
Right. Kids are old enough. Now what?
Yes.
But was that, and I'm assuming, because that was in my case, my personal case was, a shift in identity when my kids got old enough. And I was like, oh, wait, I don't have to change diapers anymore, or, fight with, you're going to eat that. Right. We're making decisions independently. But what was that shift for you of like, I need to start pouring into myself as a mother? What was that turning point for you?
I started listening to my kids, actually. So like I said, my daughter and, the rest of them were just like, well, you got to leave the house too, Mom. Like, you can go have fun. We'll be okay. And then once they started telling me, like, we're going to be okay, Mom. Like, you don't have to be with us all the time. And I'm like, okay, are you going to judge me because I left you? And they're like, no, please go. Like, get out of our hair.
They kicked you out.
Yeah, they kicked me out, and it's like they kicked me out of the nest to go fly somewhere. Or learn to fly.
What a dynamic that is. So you said what changed was I listened to my kids.
Right.
And they were telling you that you're a great mom, go do your own thing. What are some other things that you've learned from listening to your kids?
Like I said, I've learned over the years, the only people I have to worry about their opinions are my children. At the end of the day, I just want them to be happy and to look at me and be proud of all that I've done and take away, like, hard work pays off, And so I just look for that in them. And yeah, they always are quick to reassure me, like, you're doing the right thing, Mom. Like, even when I have second guesses about what I'm doing, like, no, you're doing the right thing. Keep going, Mom.
Yeah.
Or if somebody tries to set doubt in my head, like, do you want me to go beat them up? Like, no, calm down. It's not that serious.
It's you essentially built your own little cheerleading squad here.
Right.
But I think that's so interesting and fascinating to me, because a lot of times the parents are the ones like, hey, you listen to me. You're talking to the kids like, hey, pay attention. Or, I told you this. Were you listening?
Right.
And to turn and shift the tables, did that take some time or some practice to say, maybe they are telling me something I should listen to.
Oh, for sure.
Well, for the parents that just are hearing this for the first time and thinking, Carmen is cuckoo,
Right.
what advice would you tell them on that letting go and kind of, like I said, and I don't have another way to put it, but just listening to your kids? What would you tell them to encourage them to try this?
If you are doubting yourself as a parent and what you're doing in your life, and your kids are happy and telling you positive things, you're doing right. Keep going and open your ears to them, because they, we have our own wisdom, but they have wisdom as children as well. They're with you all the time. They're with you 24/7. They don't just see one piece of you. They
Mhm.
see the whole picture, and they're the only ones that get to see that big picture. Even, your spouse is at work all day, or, not with you guys, especially as a mom, dad's usually,
Yeah.
taking a step back. So
Mm.
moms are with their kids 24/7. Who else are you going to listen to other than the person that's with you all the time?
So sometimes we think about learning somebody else's perspective and we find a mentor or, someone in our church community of faith. But you're telling me, because my listeners know I have 2 kids.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that essentially the mentorship can come from someone that close to you, because it's another set of eyes.
Mhm.
So what was really, really interesting that you just said, and I had never thought of it this way, is that as a mother or a parent, the caregiver of, if you have children, they're seeing all parts of you, not just pieces, right? Our coworkers see one piece of us,
Right.
They're lucky if they get to see us after hours. And then,
Exactly.
we're talking about, faith, right? That, your church family, it's another set. You have your girlfriends or, your siblings, and then
Mhm.
but your kids see you the whole dang time.
Right. They hear all the gossip.
They do. That's so true. That's so true. So if I had your squad in the room right now, what is something that they would tell me about mom?
Um, well, I mean, they're always telling me they're proud of me, and that they love me. I know a lot of people don't tell each other they love you, and that's surprising to me. That's really hard to hear when someone says that they don't say those words. Like their dad, he said he didn't really say that growing up, and so like I'm like, okay, well, I got to keep telling you.
I love you
You got to
guys.
learn this.
That's
And then I'm like, I
amazing.
got to tell my kids all the time. And, my son, I told you he moved out, and he will text me every day, either I'm safe or I love you. For sure. I love you.
So I'm going to ask you this. What is a piece of advice that you would give to a woman in the region?
Love yourself. And when you're feeling doubt, let it go and keep going.
That was a great piece of advice. Thank you so much for coming on. We heard from Carmen Castillo. She is an amazing person. And thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
So when you have self-doubt, let it go and keep chugging along. That was Carmen Castillo, and that's what she said.